I've always wanted to play a character kind of like Puss in Boots, and so that's what I went with, doing a rogue bard tabaxi.
Yeah, Breeze is a human noble sorcerer. Um, he likes to go by Lord Breeze. He has a merchant trade supplying different taverns with ale, wine, tobacco, and maybe even a little bit of the dragon weed. He is a larger fellow, uh, interested in the finer things he can get his hands on, good robes and jewelry, and the proper greed noble. Yeah, meads, wines, tobacco, dragonweed, anything you can find at a tavern.
You want to buy it? I want to sell it.
Well, my character's class is a paladin. I took the Oath of Vengeance, and his race is Loxodon, which is like an upright walking elephant person. His name is Requiem.
Yes. Tonight I will be playing Finster Glowwillow, renowned detective in his own mind, halfling, divine sorcerer, divination wizard, detective, finder of lost whatever. More luck than skill, but don't tell him that.
Yes. So Steve is someone who has a particular affinity for causing pain and is just looking for anything and everything that gives him an excuse to take someone else's life. Currently finds himself in the employ of detectives as the hired muscle and intimidation tactic for interrogating suspects.
Well, well, I wanted to play something that I normally didn't, so I went with a druid, but I wanted to go with something along the lines of elf, but I found a Eldrin. I think I'm saying that right. It's a Feywild elf, and his background's kind of sad, but he's an outcast. He was banned from his community, and his mom is missing. His father's dead, and interested to see where his story shall take him. I was just about to say it plays into my backstory if we met somewhere in the wild and both had similar interests.
Well, in that case, probably. If we're being from Faerun, Baldur's Gate sounds like a good spot as any because, well, there's wilderness fairly close. Yes, Finster is very much a half.
Lord, nor would I care about their story, as long as they're offering coin.
Oh,
Are you a little
kitty.
cat, or are you like a small cat, or a man-sized, or a human-sized cat?
I was just about to ask
Me,
the same thing.
I'm small, so like I'm like I'd be like kind of like a shorter, smaller
Okay, well,
humanoid.
An elephant-sized
Okay.
man.
Okay,
You've
so you're
got
my
a thing.
So that's a big kitty or a little kitty?
Yeah.
Like a
Size
homicide kid.
Ah, so, okay, gotcha.
So he's my size. Because I'm
Still
also
adorable.
yeah, I'm also about 3'2".
There you go.
Yeah.
So I've determined that they count as one. Like,
So I'm just gonna look up at my companions. You know, the druid and the druid and the psychopath. So where are we gonna sit?
Grab a table and some chairs.
I'm following, but I am entranced by these two small creatures, or medium-sized creatures. They're animals.
I think I'm gonna sit over in the corner a little bit and maybe, case out the place, make sure there isn't anybody of any concerns.
Very good, my menacing companion.
So
Are we taking the papers by force, or are we going to be cordial with these guys?
Well,
Not
while
to
you
worry.
guys are doing that, I'm going to basically try to do a quick investigation of the room, just kind of like get a view, kind of get a feel for what's going on, and see where that takes me. That is a 19.
Very good first roll.
Opening up with big numbers.
We
Well,
only need the merchant for his traveling papers.
So what's the big guy
Breeze is
doing
going to, Breeze is going to kind of snap at whatever waitress is in there and order some more wine.
What if,
So
Yeah,
like
what if-
so it's like someone like used to like the cap of the tip of the cane to like scratch the floor. Okay. Okay, that's. I'll try to file that away for, for later, because that could be anything.
So right now it's two separate parties, right? We don't really know each other too much.
Be a bad joke.
What's that?
I said Becky, it's about to be a bad joke. Her and I are getting ready to walk into a bar.
All right, so you guys all walk into the tavern. You see, of course, a display of this very large merchant or Lord Breeze, and his fine robe sitting at a table, along with a humanoid pachyderm and a humanoid cat. They seem to be joined by an elf, a halfling, and a human, very large human, almost the same size as the pachyderm. You recognize one of them, the lordly looking fellow, as your contact, meeting the description of Lord Breeze. This, Becky, of course, is your contact to take you to the land of Barovia in search of this tree. And now I ask Becky, fateful question, and Mike, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm standing there protecting her, of course.
Of course.
I'm also looking at her saying, don't do it.
Getting into a ring?
Getting into a what?
Okay, we're walking into the tavern, right?
That is correct.
And there's an elephant in the front,
There's a humanoid elephant.
and we're picking his face. Yeah, you can't miss him.
Yeah. My sister's never played D&D before, so this is her first time. So we're just filling it out a little bit. So yeah, you walk into this tavern, you find your contact, the one that's supposed to take you to the land of Barovia, this merchant. He meets the description that you have as Lord Breeze. You also see him there at a table, and a number of different individuals have been gathered at the same table with him. Halfling, wandering around looking at a cane and some writing on the ground, nosily with some spectacles perhaps, giving a closer look, jotting down some notes into a notebook. As this elf greets Lord Breeze, introducing themselves, and they all have a seat at the table as a woman comes by to get their orders. What would you like to do? Would you like to go over and greet them?
No.
Or would you like to
Introduce
go back
myself.
the way you came?
No, go forward.
All right, we're going for it. So you make your way over the table. And of course, Mike, or did we settle on a name, Mike?
Yeah, Mr. Bud.
Mr. Bun. Mr. Bun, you see her make her way to the table, and you're like, well, I can't let my paycheck just go into the teeth of the lions that easily. And so, of course, you step in front of her and start making your way over to make sure you keep yourself and your paycheck at arm's distance from each other.
Correct.
So they walk over to your table, Mr. Breeze, Lord Breeze. A couple new travelers in from the tavern. What would you like to do?
So these are all the tagalongs that I've got stuck coming with me to Barovia. Is it? Is this all of you?
Yes.
Hi.
No.
So at that point, I'm just gonna grab the walking stick off the wall, and then walk over to a neighboring table, scoot over a chair, and then climb up, sit down. Notice that my eyes are probably like at table level, and look at everyone else. And I'm just going to then use the cane as a pole vault to sit in the elephant's lap.
You're sitting in the elephant's lap.
So that way, I'm going to put myself in the elephant's lap, because that's going to put me in a higher position, so I can actually see everybody at the table.
Nice. All right.
I'm gonna walk over and ask him. If he's got a better offer than the one I currently have as far as protection goes.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm just saying that I've got some skills, and I don't know who I need to protect at this point. I'm still looking for my who I gotta protect guy, girl.
No, it's Becky. Becky's character. You're supposed to protect her on her journey.
We'll leave it at that.
She's seeking, uh,
We'll leave it at that.
she's seeking, uh, 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 she's seeking, uh transit from Lord Breeze.
Okay.
Not to be confused with the original backstory, which you were going to work with Lord Breeze as a mercenary, but then Becky wanted to play, so you decided you were going to be her protector instead. So that's kind of how that worked.
I did. You're right.
But with that, the barmaid.
Don't forget about don't forget payment from those who are wishing to ride along.
What was the agreed sum?
Doesn't matter. I'm telling him 10 gold.
10 gold. Speaking of which, something we never discussed, because we never really had a formal session 0 for this. We just kind of got on. They kind of made their characters most casually, and we all kind of got on and started playing. I never discussed really too much about their money situation. David, Cody, you guys being accomplished detectives and so forth, go ahead and put in your coin purse 300 gold each. Okay? Steve, 300 gold each. Steve, the
300?
300 each. Yes. Steve, you've been recently paid by these constituents. Add to your pouch 150 gold. Okay? So you got 150 gold to start. Curtis, you've got a couple of assassin contracts under your belt, sure. But you've been paid by Mr. Breeze to accompany him on his journey. He's paid you with the sum of 100 gold. You have another 100 gold, let's say, to start. So you're going to start with 200 gold. Same thing for you, Amanda, except that you were offered 100 gold. Whether or not you accept, I'm not really sure. Do you offer payment for your services, or is your services just kind of like, hey, I'm here, I'm a paladin, you're a lord, let's do this?
Yeah, I don't really try to get paid for it much. It's just I go places and
room and board.
Yeah.
Go ahead and add.
So basically, it's room and board.
Give yourself 50 gold. You gotta have a little bit of spending cash. Okay. And the Lord does pay you a stipend to maintain your station, I'm sure. But of course, that is his decision what that stipend is. And if you're not really concerned about gold, I'm sure he's not concerned about it either.
You? What a deal is this guy?
All right, Becky. Let's go ahead and start you off with let's start you off with 200 gold. Okay, this is something that you've been given for your journey. You have additionally 100 gold, and this was the agreed amount sum that you plan to pay this merchant. So that, let's just say that's a total of, screw it, 300 gold. You've paid, Mike, 150 gold to guard, to guard him. So, Mike, you're going to start with 150 gold. Okay, so now you guys all have money. Okay, planning on sprinkling out some magical items to the lot of you before we really get going. So we're going to do that formally. Say, oh, what?
You forgot about my gold.
You don't need any gold. We have all the gold. Lord Breeze, you brought 500 gold out of your personal account, so you can start with that. I'm assuming you have way more stashed at home. You didn't bring all that. So you have 500 gold. You lordly lord. You.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Very generous to these players. Last time they were in Barovia, I was not so nice. Giving them a little bit of a leg up here. I gave David a very nice item. Also gave Mike a very nice item. Thinking about sprinkling out some nice items throughout the group real quick. Anyone have an item that they would be like, you know what? This would make my character really cool. And if it's reasonable, David, this means you too, if you would like to trade in your staff of defense for something else instead. We could do that.
Nah, it's perfectly fine.
Okay. But everyone gets that one thing. Okay? That one thing. One magic item. Okay? This is your Christmas list. Santa's checking his list. What's on it? You want a big axe?
Some of us don't know what we don't know.
Maybe something like a ring of protection for your will saves and your AC. Curtis, you thinking like a magic bow or something, or Lucius, a magic wand? I don't know.
Magic bow, yeah, that would come in handy.
A magic bow. Okay. So we'll add your inventory, Becky, a +1 magic bow. Okay. All right. And if you're not sure exactly how to do that, I will help. Okay. Anyone else want anything special before we begin? This is your opportunity here. Before we begin, and you guys have to work for it.
I want the never-ending bottle of beer.
You know what? I'll grant you that, Mr. Buck.
Oh shit!
That would be.
That's awesome.
That is I will grant
That
you
would be decant. You could put that as. Hey, listen. You could put that as decanter of endless beer, because there's a decanter of endless water.
That's true. But yeah, we'll say that you have a endless beer supply, Mr. Buck. Wise. Anyone else? Maybe a flask of never-ending whiskey. Anyone?
An extra spell slot or two?
I can only think
Like
of
a
either.
storage system?
I think both of you were talking at the same time. All right. So, Cody, what were you thinking?
Like a ring for spell storage, even if it's just one.
You know what? I will. Okay, Mr. Wise Guy. That's not a bad request. That's a very good request. I'll give you a ring of spells.
You said anything. Yeah.
I did. Anything reasonable.
Sweet.
I will give you an empty
It's
ring of spells for. It has 4 chambers. You can spell it.
okay with me.
You can put in it whatever you want. I'll allow it to have 1 spell inside of it. 1 spell that it had when you first got it, and you never really wanted to use it. It's Animate Dead. You never really had the gumption to use it. So it's still lingering.
Oh my.
But other than that, yeah, 3 empty spell slots there, and 1 is filled with Animate Dead. So you have a total of 4 slots.
The only thing I can think of is a minor combat item and an RP item, being either the wand of, or the pipe of smoke monsters.
pipe of smoke monsters.
It
Okay.
doesn't do anything. You smoke it, and you can make the smoke change into different creatures. It's flavor.
Puff, puff, pass.
Sorry, responding to something. Yeah. 7 players for now, Mac nobody. But my brother and my sister, sorry, I'm responding to an inquiry. But some of them may not continue from here. Like I said, my sister, this is her first time ever played D&D. My brother, my oldest brother, he's not played for 40 years, so it's kind of an experience for them to see if they like it. And of course, Curdy, I expect him to be back, but I don't know. He hasn't played with this group before, but we played before together ourselves. So we'll see how many actually stay on. Maybe one day we'll see if we end up keeping Mike and Becky or not. We'll see. But for now, yeah. Anyone else have a magic item that they wanted? The smoking pipe thing, you can have that. That's fine. That's cool with me, Matt.
Puff, puff, pass.
Anyone else?
How do
Cody?
I add that to my inventory?
Cody, that was a very good request. I like it. Curtis, what about you?
I'm looking for something. I'm not real sure.
And of course,
I mean,
Robert.
I could always fall back. With an oath bow.
Oh, oath bow. That's a big time
Maybe
item.
not an oath bow.
It's a big time item right there. And spells, the spring of spell storing is big, but I left it empty, so it can only put it in spells if it is. But that's kind of huge.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to.
I'll grant you a +1.
I rolled a die just because.
I'll grant you a +1, though. For now, maybe along your journey you might find something better.
The barbarian would like to know if he can have a ring of reaction.
Yes, you may.
So that was a yes to the pipe and no on the wand?
What wand?
Magic missile.
I'll grant you a wand of magic missile. Instead of the pipe, it's one or the other.
Okay, +1 longbow. Add it.
All right. I think everyone's set then, right? Everyone has their Santa Claus gift?
Yes. How do I add it to my inventory?
All right. I think everyone started off pretty fat and happy here.
Oh, hold on. Mine needs to be a short bow instead of longbow.
I need endless arrows.
I think we forgot about our Luxodon.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Luxodon. What is it going to be, Luxodon?
Is there any way to have like a +1 warhammer?
Of course there is. So, is that gonna... So, I think that does everyone, right?
Okay, to inform the group, a ring of free action prevents my movement from dropping below normal, and difficult terrain is not difficult. I also cannot be paralyzed or restrained.
Thank you for that. Yeah,
And it's not even a very rare item.
So, well, you... Okay. Okay. Ring of free action, right? So with that, you guys settle up your bills at the tavern, and you load up your wagon, and you begin your journey. Unless there's anything else anyone would like to do before we head out.
Did my tag-alongs pay me the fare yet?
What was the fare?
Just 10 gold, right?
Is everyone prepared to pay 10
Or
gold
you
for
can
the fare?
Or you can keep your 10 gold and put your services into my care and protect me and the wagon on our trip.
So I'm just gonna kind of look up at Breeze and then hold the walking stick. Excuse me, but have you seen the individual who normally be associated with this?
Can't say that I have, nor if I would have paid enough attention to anyone that would be wielding a grubby stick.
A grubby stick. I'd like to think really, really, really hard about this because it's very important. Because me and my friends come a long, long, long way to find the person who this stick belongs to.
See, here, my little friend. I've only been here for like half an hour or an hour or so.
Isn't this
Do
your
you
place?
not think I just supply it? Do you not think it'd be a better question to ask the or the tavern keeper instead of bugging me with such things? I mean, unless your friend was here a half hour ago, I would not have seen him.
So,
Okay.
you guys do your query around and talk to those that you can and pay your fare to the ferryman. And then you start your journey. So you begin your journey. You all load into the wagons, get all your gear aboard, and begin to set off. It's still a little late in the day as you begin your journey, but the sun is still up in the sky. It's getting late, you know that, but your wagon man or your, what will be the right word?
Driver?
Driver is one word for it, not the word I was looking for, but yes, driver is the word. Thank you, David. Your driver has promised that you can get some rest and you'll be in Barovia in no time. And now this is probably a good time to let you guys know I did some stuff this week on Discord. I added some cool little things. At least I think, if you allow me a demonstration. As you begin making your way down the journey, on your journey, making your way through the woods, it starts to get a bit dark, and start to hear sounds like howling in the distance. No trouble, of course. You're safe in the wagon. You continue to make your way down the road. The night sets in. The moon begins to cast in the sky. You continue your journey. For several hours you ride. It's quiet. It's peaceful.
If I'm not
The night is
mistaken, my sword puts out a light, doesn't it?
It does. A faint glow, faint aura around. And as that faint aura illuminates upon your face, you hear that howl.
And the clouds are covering the moon.
And just as you mentioned, Becky, that the clouds begin to conceal the moon. It becomes darker and darker as you travel. As no light from the moon or the sun can still be seen. Only this fog that seems to loom and engulf the wagon and even engulf the light.
I'm
Can't
going
see.
to cast light.
Cast light. Using your staff as a conduit.
Actually, I'm using the coachman's whip. I'm
Ah.
casting it on that.
You cast it on the whip, and as the whip flashes forward, you can see it hit and whip upon the yeah, I added all kinds of sounds. Whip upon the backs of the horses and illuminate even them as it acts as a brilliant light that expands out to how far does it?
20 feet.
20 feet. 20 feet in front of you, of course, the whip as it flashes back and forward, so does the light, and it gives an eerie effect as the fog still lingers in layers. And the whip wicks at the darkness. And you can still hear them starting to get louder and more frequent. And you're not sure, but it sounds like it's coming from in front of you now. Now,
Something ain't right.
Mr. Breeze, Lord Breeze.
Yeah.
Coachman, driver. It's gotten quite dark. This whip, your whip is lit up with this luminescent light that flickers now like magic as you continue to trek through the mists. It's starting to get dark, but there seems to be wolves in the area. No place to stop. Not here. Not with wolves. What would you like to do?
Perhaps we ought to light some lanterns. They might stay away from the light.
Okay. You continue. Okay, so you start to light some lanterns. Is that right, our paladin friend? No fear of the dark. No fear of what goes bump in the night.
Well, I did want to suggest it to the rest of the people.
The sky.
We need to make noise. Make sure that the wolves don't come to the noise.
Okay. All right.
That's when I'm going to pull out my lyre and start playing.
Okay. All right. So, we got people getting ready to make a lot of noise. You're going to play your lyre. Let's go ahead and do a performance. Curtis, why don't you give me a performance, and I'll let you roll with advantage because you're having help, having assistance in the moment. Okay.
First was a 17.
Nice.
Second was a 17.
Very good. Roll pretty good. 17. That's good. The begin to play your lyre, your lyre, as you continue deeper into the fog, night descending upon you, and of course, wolves in the area. Your tune, it's loud. You sing with it as well. What was the name again, Becky?
Oh, I don't know. Just make some noise. Bang. Bang.
Okay. Yes. So you're making noise. I was asking what your name was. I couldn't remember.
Oh, my name.
Yeah.
Orphid.
Orphan. And yours was what, Curtis?
Shadow Claw, but
Shadow Claw.
Snowball.
Snowball.
Snowball is my actual name, but they call me Shadow Claw.
Of course they do. Snowball. The howling seems
Damn it, Curtis! Now I'm thinking Rick and Morty.
Where are my balls? Where are my balls at, Summer? These are my weapons now.
Banana.
Right. The bananas are a safe word when we're getting off topic. Anyway, so the wolves seem to continue. Even though you play and even though you make your noises, they seem to intensify in number. Mr. Breeze, Lord Breeze, wolves are gathering around. It's getting pretty thick. You're at the helm. What would you like to do?
Is it like late in the is it time for us to stop? Because as far as protection goes,
I did mention that it was late, very late. The moon had come up. Okay, it is getting very late, but there's wolves in the area, and you don't want to stop here. So with that,
but you can't see really like the wind.
Well, protection detail is up to the hired ones. So,
Ambeck, are you going to bed?
Oh, pretty close.
Really?
Then I will be protected.
Becky, when you say you're going
I'll be
to bed,
getting off the carriage.
you do know that we're planning on running till 1 o'clock, right?
Oh, it's fine. Come on. Let's go.
Okay.
I think she was referring to her character.
Oh, I misunderstood. Completely. I thought Becky was getting ready to get off just as we were starting. I misunderstood. Okay. So, Becky, you're going to go ahead and go to bed with the wolves. Yeah, okay. So you're like, screw it, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, it's I think between the fog and the dark, I don't want to risk damaging the goods that I have in the wagon. So I'm gonna stop and leave protection detail up to our good old Ram and Shadow Claw.
So
Since
are
that's
these
what
just
you're
normal wolves?
I mean, you haven't seen
I
anything.
guess
You've
we'll
just been
most
hearing.
likely find out here shortly, won't we?
You just been hearing the howls as the mist continues to, or the fog continues to get thicker and thicker all around you. It's obscured. You can't even see the moon in the sky anymore, as the clouds seem to have become thick all around you. The sun and the moon are blotted out. You can see what looks like trees passing next to you as you continue down the road. But the trees are all without leaves. And last thing you remember, it was the middle of springtime um, when you left. So it's strange that all the trees have lost their leaves all of a sudden.
Something ain't right here, guys.
Okay, so
Requiem is
let me get
carriages
a
walking alongside the carriage.
who's up at the coach up front with Mr. Breeze, Lord Breeze.
I guess I can be trying to keep a lookout ahead of us.
Let's go ahead and get a perception from the both of you. Now, Mr. Breeze, do you have a covered wagon, or is this like an open wagon where everyone can kind of see out? Or is it just constricted from the back and the front?
covered because amongst the casks of wine and ale, I will also be transporting tobacco and such. So I would need to keep it dry.
So that's what I imagine. So that's where I'm only asking for
Is it
perception
hard
from
top
the
or
two of
soft
you up
top?
front. Probably a soft top.
Requiem's perception check was 16.
And I got 19.
Ah, you guys start to see what looks like stirring in the fog as a shadow seems to move across and the fog begins to stir. Um, One darts in front of the wagons across the road as you see many black shapes take form, all on fours. They run across the road suddenly, and the horses, they rear back, afraid of something in the distance. When to your right, you can see what looks like gleaming eyes peering out of the darkness. Gleaming eyes, but they peer from the trees. And you can see what hanging in the trees.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask that.
Many different sets of eyes, all red and shiny. As they take flight, filling the sky, flying over the wagon, you see a school of bat, a swarm of them, as these wolves begin to surround you, and bats seem to fly overhead. I'm sorry, Cody, what were you saying?
So there's wolves and bats at the moment. I would like to turn to whoever the merchant is and ask him if he has any meat that we're transporting.
That's a negative. It's all booze and tobacco.
Okay,
I
good to
won't
know.
like
Never
that.
mind then. And put that shot that down and fire.
All right, so as time passes, you continue to make your way down the road, right, Mr. Lord Breeze, right?
If it's unsafe to do so, I don't want to risk the cargo getting damaged, so I would stop.
Okay. You beckon the horses to stop. And you pull back on the reins with all you have, and they do. Unsettled as they are, they do stop. And it's at that moment, then jumping from the darkness comes a shadow on all fours. A number of them, 3 of them, dart out from what seems like all sides, and they nip and howl and sorry, I have other things, but whatever. Strike at the horses, which scare them, and they start as the wagon jolts forward, even though you had it stopped, and they begin to as a full sprint. As they dart past, you can see that there are a number of wolves on both sides of you as they continue through, as the mist begins to split between you. It seems like there is a pack of wolves on the road.
Am I in close proximity?
Yes, you are all on the wagon. Are we wanting to roll initiative? Or are we wanting to flee? Or fight or flight?
This paladin's fighting.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
gonna yell at if Requiem's next to me up top, I'm gonna yell at him to protect the horses, because without the horses, we're not transporting any cargo.
Okay.
And if the rest of you want to get to Barovia, you better help protect the horses too.
I think initiative
Sounds
to
good,
be
then. Guess we're
out there on
initiative
on the
then.
All right. Let me go ahead and get some initiatives from everyone. I'm going to start what I normally do just to make things easier. I'm going to call out a grouping of numbers. If your initiative number is in that grouping, please report it to me. So, does anyone have anything over 20? All right. Does anyone have anything over 15?
divine.
I had a
divine
21 for initiative roll.
I'm sorry?
I don't know.
Did somebody say 21?
Yes.
Okay. And please remind me of the name. This is the easiest way for me to learn everyone.
I have 21.
Torah.
Does anyone else have anything over 20?
Yes,
Okay. What is your total?
21.
Okay. And what is your name?
Orphic.
Okay. Does anyone have 15 or higher?
I don't know. I don't know what you're asking.
Oh, your initiative. So, I'm sorry. Let me go and
Roll
roll that
initiative.
for you, actually, Mr. Budd, because you can't access your character sheet. I was supposed to be doing that for you, and I forgot. You're listening to duty and all that good stuff. So I'm rolling your initiative for you. I rolled a 14 plus 2 is a 16. So, Mr. Budd, you'll be going on a 16.
Oh, what is that?
Does anyone else have over 15? All right. Does anyone have 10 or higher?
Yes.
Okay.
Steve got 13.
I've got 10.
Okay. What was the name again, Prince? Snowball?
Snowball.
Okay. And that leaves me 5 or higher.
Finster has a 6.
I believe I'm missing couple of people. So does anyone have one or higher?
Requiem as a 4.
Okay.
Breeze comes in with a 2.
All right. I was wondering if I missed you all, or you guys just really rolled that bad.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
I have people to protect me, so I'm in no rush.
Veritom, as the wagon jolts forward, and you can start seeing wolves on both sides of the wagon as it jolts forward, making its way down the road. You can see as wolves are appearing on both sides of the wagon, and they're turning and starting to give chase. So from the opening in the back of the wagon, you can see, let's say, 4 wolves. Okay. It is your turn. What would you like to do? That would be you, Cody.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go ahead and take up a move towards the rear of the caravan and take up a defensive position right there and see what's going on.
All right. Defensive position. Okay. You're not gonna attack this turn.
No, not this turn.
Okay. That brings us to Orfida. Orford?
Yep,
Curse,
I
Becky?
wake up.
You wake up.
Yeah. Orford wakes up, and she's noticing me. Yeah, I wake up.
Okay.
I was taking a nap, and
I
I
remember.
woke up through all the ruckus.
I remember.
And there's wolves, and I have a bow and with endless arrows.
Endless arrows. Okay. So you see four wolves in the back of opening of the wagon as you sit up from your nap. Go ahead and make me an attack with one of them. With your endless arrows.
Okay, I'm gonna. Wolf. It was what I wished for. It was my Christmas list. And well, I've got my sight on a wolf, and I got an arrow pulled back.
Would you like me to make the attack for you?
Please.
Okay. I see that you have your equipment, but you just don't have it like equipped. No problem. I've got you. We're gonna roll a +7 to hit with a roll of an 18. That's a total of a 25. That is going to hit. So why don't you roll me? I'll take care of it. D8 plus 5. Don't worry, I got you. You're good. So you make a roll, and you find purchase on one of the wolves. You hit him straight into the chest, or not, I guess, chest, but right underneath the left shoulder blade, and he yelps as he collapses to the ground. He's not down completely, but you definitely tripped him up as the other wolves, they dart around him, and you can see him still stirring on the ground as he limps to his feet as the wolves continue to pursue. Will that end your turn, Becky?
Yes.
Mr. Bud, you're up. Your paycheck is shooting at wolves from the back of the caravan. Would you like to assist?
Okay.
Okay. You, of course, have a different means. Being a Eldritch Knight, you have different magic you can use. And you also have, of course, you might have a melee weapon or a ranged weapon. What would you like to do?
Let's throw a cause fear out there.
Okay. Kona spear. Spear. Okay. Kona spear. Sorry. Cause spear. Got it. Cause spear. Got it. Okay. So you use your spell ability, Cause spear, against one of the wolves. This is going to cause him to have to make a Wisdom save of 12. I'm going to make that for him. He fails. So you can see that you one. Yeah, okay, it's just the one for right now, and then at higher levels you can target an extra creature. Okay, cool. Alright, so as you cause your use your spell cause spear and hold out your sword pointing it at one of the wolves, you can see as it begins to cower and it trails off from the rest of them. Not kind of falling to the back of the pack. Not as so aggressive as he was a moment ago. Will that end your turn? Or is there something else you would like to do? Now that is an action. So you still have a bonus action for movement and stuff like that, but for all intents and purposes, unless you have like a bonus action. And it doesn't leave. Okay. That'll end your turn. And that brings us to Steve. Steve, there's some wolves giving you trouble. What would you like to do?
Steve is going to pull out his short bow and going to do his best to also like the wolves. That's a 16 hit.
Does.
For 8 damage.
Okay. 8 damage. Alright. You strike at one of the wolves and you hit it in, right into the chest cavity of it, and it collapses over, falling on the ground, tumbling. Is that going to injure good?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm playing with something. Still learning a little bit about all the sound. I've been playing around with the sound issues. More trying to add some to it, just some bases, and I don't really like that. But anyway, moving forward. Steve, is that going to end your turn? Right?
Yes, it is.
So Snowball, we're up to you now. There's still a couple of wolves at the back. Would you like to shoot them, or is there something else?
Yeah, I'll deal with one of the wolves.
Okay. Go ahead and make me attack.
Okay, let's see what I want to do. Rapier's most effective, so I'm gonna use my rapier.
Okay. You're gonna use a melee attack?
Well, I was gonna basically use my bonus action and dash over there and attack them with the rapier.
Okay. So you are on the back of a wagon that is charging down the road. Wolves on both sides of you. You're going to jump off the wagon and jump back on? You want to do that? Or you want to jump off the wagon? Okay. I just want to make sure you understood the situation. Okay. All right. Okay.
Dice rolls to do.
I think the acrobatics would be whether he lands on his feet, and then technically it wouldn't matter which you were going to use for trying to get back to the wagon.
Well, that would be
Okay.
athletics jump.
Athletics would be attempt to climb a sheer, slippery cliff, avoid hazards while scaling the wall. You try to jump an unusually long distance, or pull off a stunt during mid-jump.
Which makes this that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're jumping from a moving carriage to a running wolf.
That's gonna be an 11 on athletics.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's not gonna. I hate to do this to you, James, but you missed the wolf. You do jump out, and you're then tumble on the ground. Okay, and when you get to your feet, there are wolves around, and the carriage is starting down the road. You just made it. I don't know. We'll see how this turns out. This just turned into a rescue operation. But Curtis, that's not the end of your
No,
turn.
because no, because I'm using bonus action to dash.
That's fine. But okay, you jumped out trying to jump onto one of the wolves. You missed the wolf. You ended up on the ground. Okay. What would you like to do for me?
Feline agility. When you move on your turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of the turn.
Okay.
Can I, if he dashes and then feline agilities, could he make it back to the wagon?
Sure.
I should be able to, because I should be able to go like.
Yeah, you just basically be like.
with.
Sorry, you would basically be like instead of. So instead of attacking,
Dash and feline agility will be 60.
so if you chose not to
Fine.
attack,
Wait.
just get back to the wagon, you'll be fine. I'll allow you to do that. Just go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, I mean,
Use the rest of your action just to make your way back to the wagon. Can I just get another leap from you to get back into the wagon? Pretty please, sugar on top, just to make me happy.
another what?
Just jump back in the wagon the same way you jumped out.
Yeah, do I need to make an athletics check for that one?
Yes, please.
Okay, that you didn't.
I
You
did.
said get another jump check.
I did.
Okay,
So-
jump check. Okay, that's gonna be 12.
Thank you. All right, so you jump back in the wagon. All right. That's going to end your turn.
Yes.
All right, Ben's turn. You're up.
I am going to cast a level 2 sleep on the wolves.
Okay. There's a handful of them in the back of the wagon still. With all the chaos and stuff like that, they kind of did I just saw a putty cat? And they see it jump back in the wagon like I did saw a putty cat, and then you was asleep. So let's go ahead and roll. See how many hit points you're gonna get.
So that's a total of 32 hit points of sleep.
Okay, so the wolves all in the back of the wagon. They're asleep. There are no more up. Even the one that was afraid, that was fearful, he's gone to sleep. So they'd all just kind of collapse over. All three of them that were left, they just collapse over. There are still wolves on both sides of the wagon that are trying to keep up with everyone. And is that going to end your turn, Krista?
Let's see. Who goes after me?
Requiem.
Because I know we have.
Requiem and then Breeze.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast guidance on that.
Okay, Requiem, and it is your turn.
So for the next minute, you get a on ability check.
Okay.
It's not a lot, but it's still, so, you know, but it,
So you, it is your turn now, Requiem. You're at the front of the wagon. It seems like you've been hearing there's commotion inside the wagon as they're fighting off the wolves. You can look
I'm
around.
sorry. I can't do guidance. I'm sorry, I can't do guidance. I thought it was a bonus action. It's an action. So, sleep was just my turn.
That's fine. Okay, so Requiem, you're seeing that there's still some wolves on both sides of you as they're trying to keep up with the wagon. There's like 3 on both sides. Okay. They're running alongside of the wagon and the horses, nipping at the horses, trying to get them to stop. What would you like to do?
I'd like to cast Sacred Flame on the closest wolf.
Okay. Casting Sacred Flame is a will save. And a critical save, right? So I need you to go ahead and tell me what you're thinking.
Dex save.
Okay.
13 is a dex save.
Thank you. Sabers suck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna miss. So it fizzles as you cast it.
Silvery barb.
Reroll it.
No, on his
Oh
save.
yeah. Fail. So it takes effect, and you see him burst into flame. Why don't you go and roll damage? I was like, you go re-roll. You're like, I'm like, no wait, I have to re-roll that. That's right. It was me that rolled, not you.
It'll be 7 damage.
Very good. That wolf is. Yeah, very nice. That's a big difference. That wolf, as you hit it with the flame, it begins to peel off, falling to the back. It doesn't seem like he wants to play anymore. Is that going to end your turn?
Yeah.
All right. Breezy. Keeping it breezy. What would you like to do?
How many wolves are left chasing after the wagon?
Like 5.
Holy shitballs back.
It's not that bad.
I'm going to use my wand of missiles, and I'm going to use 6 charges and hit 3 wolves for 2 missiles each.
Holy Swiss cheese, Batman. Roll that beautiful damage.
7 for the first one.
Okay.
6 for the second one. And 5 for the third.
You said you use 6 targets?
6 charges for a total of 6 missiles. 2 for 3 wolves. So I hit 3 wolves, 2 missiles each. That leaves my wand with 1 charge. And I'm yelling to my tag-alongs that we need to protect the fucking horses.
All right, so I'm assuming two bolts to each one of the wolves as they shoot out. Most of the wolves that you hit, they begin to fall back, and now that the other wolves that haven't been damaged yet are starting to see that their herd has greatly decreased, as there's only 2 left. They all begin to fall back, and the wolves, they begin to leave you alone. And before long, you can hear the sounds of howls in the distance. Um, but the wolves seem to be defeated for the time being. So you guys make it out of the woods, as it were, with the wolves. And before you, in the distance, you can start to see the shapes of buildings coming through the fog, and light sources, dim as they are, starting to come into focus as you see that you are on the outskirts of a town. You getting closer and closer, and you can start to see the what looks like a church as you continue to make your way into the town. You begin to pass the church um, and start making your way um, down the cobble roads. Mr. Breeze,
Yeah.
Matt, it appears you have arrived in the town of Barovia, at least to your knowledge.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure to hurry up into the town itself. Hopefully, it'll be safer there than the woody road we were traveling on.
Indeed. You begin to continue to trot your horse and carriage down the road. Um, Roll me a perception check.
That would be an 8.
Hey, it's unfortunate you don't see what appears to be a pothole in the road where some cobblestones had maybe washed out due to rain or whatever, and your wagon ends up hitting into that hole and it damages one of the wheels, breaking it. Left suddenly, and everyone in the wagon begins to tumble over each other. The cargo itself begins to tumble a bit, but it's secured with ropes up against the sides. But you guys are not, and you tumble over to one side and tumble back the other until the wagon comes to a halt completely, and the wagon stops. The horses neigh, and as you peek out, it is still dark, but you can see what that you are inside of a town now. What would you all like to do?
Any of you guys know how to repair a wagon wheel?
Trying to figure out how to get them to shut up.
No, I don't know how to fix a wheel.
Where it's coming from.
Does anybody have land vehicle specialization?
No. It's a big negative.
Wait, extras, creatures.
Well, if none of you know how to fix a wheel, someone needs to go into that town there and fetch someone that does.
So
You can't just leave this wagon here. There's too much stuff on it.
you all begin to take a look around to see where you guys are, you get a look at the landscape, and you're in an old town. Seems a bit run down, a little Victorian, kind of Gothic Roman, I guess Roman Gothic, whatever you call it. Um, a storm seems to be set in the sky as thunder rolls and lightning strikes, and you can see the outline of a castle in the distance, high above an archway, high above a ridge that looks over the town. There's a castle up on the cliff that looks over the town that you guys are in, and you can see the outline of it as lightning strikes. I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if you heard me. A faint glow comes from the church, from an area behind it. You can see what looks like a line emanating from it in a ghostly hue of green light. As you look upon this hue of green light, you notice that it is not actually a stream, but a number of beings, of humanoids, humans, that come into focus as they all line up marching from the graveyard and heading across up the cliff face to the mountain as they draw, winding like a snake does, on their way to the road, on the way to the castle.
I said I don't know where it went. This big mosquito thing.
Well, that's something you don't see every day.
Right. I can't figure out where that sound's coming from. It sounds like someone's talking. Is that from you, Mike? Is that Becky in the background? No big deal. Doesn't matter. So you're looking at this ghostly line of apparitions marching from the graveyard, and certain individuals start to stand out at you. One of them appears to be a bugbear, wearing full plate armor. Hey, Mike, can you mute yourself? I can hear Becky and everyone else talking in the background.
We've cleared out all his apps. It still won't shut up.
Mike, are you there?
I could probably figure it out. Yeah.
Mike, Mr. Bud, are you there?
Hello.
All right. I don't hear Mike anymore. I just hear people talking in the background. I'm going to assume Mike is gone. Okay. Whatever.
Can would I be able to roll a history to see if I know what this castle is?
Yes, please do.
Hey, nat 20 coming out to a 22.
Hey.
Okay. So yeah, you know where you are. You've actually were hoping to find this place. At least you heard of this land before. You're in a land called Barovia. The castle is called Castle Ravenloft. Lord of that castle is, of course, Strahd, Lord Vampire himself. He owns this land. He was doomed to this land, cursed, as he said, as it was said. And Van Richten, person you're followed here, has his eyes set on the prize of slaying this vampire. Hopefully that helps.
What was the vampire's name?
Strahd. Some say he is cursed. Waka, waka, waka. The curse of Strahd. Yeah. So, anyway. So, the Parade of the Dead. You continue to see figures. Some of them, like I said, stand out to you. One of them being a bugbear in full plate armor. Another, a human, standing alongside him the same way. A tiefling. A number of different, like a halfling, young girl. You think at first to be a girl, but apparently this is some sort of halfling. A dragonborn wearing commoner's clothes, spectacles, and so forth. You see a number of different shades of the past, colorful characters that have come through and found their end right here in Barovia. In fact, your history roll turns up what this is as well, Cody. This is known to many as the Parade of the Dead. You've heard tell of this in your studies about this land before you came. They say that the dead continue to march night by night up to the castle of Ravenloft and toss themselves from the highest spire down to the depths below, night after night, as some repeating of a quest to defeat Strahd, but unable to. Forever doomed to repeat the same fate of throwing themselves from the castle walls, night by night. Those who fail in the conquest of Strahd find themselves marching in the Parade of the Dead. You guys continue to make your way looking about the town. Or are you guys staying by the wagon? What would you guys like to do?
Question. I have a question.
Yeah.
When the wagon is, if the wagon didn't have a busted wheel, how high off the ground is the axle for the bad wheel?
Let's say about 2 feet, I guess, give or take. 1 to 2 feet. I guess about 2 feet, I guess. With the wheel still on it, or with it broken. With it broken. I guess maybe about a half a foot.
I mean, if
Sorry.
I mean, if the wagon was still functional, the center of the axle, how high off the ground would it be?
2 feet.
Damn.
If it was all functional and together, why?
Because if it was 3 feet, then I would be able to put a tensor's floating disc under it.
Oh, that's too bad. You could raise it up though in order to help get the wagon fixed, the wheel fixed when it comes time.
Yeah, but then it's
well, just to replace.
It's gonna be all like wonky.
But just to replace the wheel and then let it down afterwards. I've used that trick before. But first, you need a wheel to repair it.
Right, but I was trying to look of a way to have a means of doing it, basically fix a flat.
Right.
Would I not have a spare wheel with us?
You might have the tools to repair it, but it will take time. And of course, you'll need some parts.
So I do not have.
No, sorry. Long
That
answer.
sounds like an oversight for me.
Long story. No.
You could have chosen a will instead of whatever magical item you chose.
Yes, the magical wheel of a wagon.
Well, to be fair,
He said you could wish for anything you wanted to start with.
you could have wished for a wheel. But to be fair, I had decided that I was just going to go ahead and waylay you in the town here with the wagon. But I thought that wouldn't be fair. So I let you decide your fate with a perception check, whether or not you saw the hole. And so now we're here. You're just going to have to make some repairs and get it fixed.
You're just
Stay a while.
Can we make our way to the? Can we make our way up to the church?
Indeed, you begin to make your way up to the church. And
Where are we staying for the night?
it's a good question.
well, whoever goes in, try to find someone that knows what we need to fix the
So
well.
hold it. Wait. Why are we going to the church where the freaky ghosts just came out and came for a stroll?
That's true. It's a very good question.
Why not?
Because a
I
bunch
want
of
to
freaky ghosts just came out and went for a stroll.
I would like to know what's going on here.
As you're discussing what to do next, let me find out what everyone's passive perception is. Starting with Cody, what's yours?
Yeah, I'm opening it. Hold on.
No problem.
14.
14. Orphan, I'm looking yours up. You have a 16. Mr. Bud, this Bud's for you. You have a 13. Steve, what's your passive?
15.
15. Snowball, what's your passive? I guess I can
Second. My passive perception is 14.
14. Finster, what's yours passive?
13.
13. Requiem, what's your passive perception?
Requiem has 14.
And what's yours, Mr. Breeze?
15.
All right. Steve, Orphan, Mr. Breeze. You start to hear something that draws your attention. The wagons come to a stop. It sounds like the sounds of wagon wheels still heading over cobblestones. You can hear it off in the distance, and as it comes through the mist, you can see an old woman pushing a cart. She makes her way over to one of the doors of one of the houses there in Barovia and knocks on one of the doors. You see her reach into the cart and pull what looks like some sort of food or some sort of pie tip. And she holds it up, and the people, they look out to try to accept the pie, and she pulls it back, reaching out her hand for payment. And you can overhear them saying something about, we don't have the money to pay for the pie, but we must have one. And then she points her gnarly finger down. And you can see with reluctance, this couple, they push a young child, no more than 5 or 7, out the door as she clutches it by the arm as she produces a pie to the parents. She takes the child and she stuffs it into a sack and places it under the cart. She begins to turn the cart around, making her way back into the mists. What would you like to do?